All right, so we're going to go in now and get in little details, mainly the shadows, and figure out what we're going to do with this light source. So I like the light source in terms of it going slightly to the left, but I do want to make it a bit more exaggerated. Um, so I'm going to actually create a little bit more of those shadows, running more to the left hand side rather than towards the back. But let's see how we go. Now, firstly, for the buildings, I want to pick up a bit of purpley color that I'm going to use. Just a bit of purple mixed with some brown, maybe a bit of black here. Okay, I just want to make a cooler sort of color, cooler gray color. Okay, playing around and let's sort of seeing what we can do. And I'm going to go straight into this building. Let's just see how we go with it. I'm tempted to actually use this larger one, get the job done faster. Let's just see what we can get out of this. So like that, yeah, pretty dark. I'd say about 30% of this darker paint to 70% water. You don't need to mix as much paint in when the color is so dark already. Okay, but all I want to do is just darken this building a touch and leave in, if possible, some of the previous wash as well. This nice sort of warmer color for the building, off in the distance, not off in the distance, but you know what I mean, behind this wash. Okay, don't be afraid to leave in some of those little specks of magic. And the main thing here is just cutting around those windows. It's tricky. This larger brush, in a weird way, makes it easier. Even though you've got less control, you're not tempted to fuss. You just get it in, and it leaves some of that previous wash in, as I was mentioning before, is so crucial. Okay, but there's a point where I have to stop using it because it just becomes too difficult, and you sort of struggle. Okay, and actually on this side of the building, there's a lot more. There's certainly a lot more light on it, so I don't need to imply that as much. Brown, purple, black mixed together. What else have we got in here? Okay, bit of the top part like that. See if I can get in some of this building as well. And I'm going to leave that side, that right-hand side of that building in. See that bit there? I'm going to imply that there's just some light crossing over that edge of the building. Okay, and there's little bits and pieces touching the sky. Not touching the sky, but connecting up a touch there as well. And just put in a bit of that grey like that. I'm going to swap over to the smaller round brush. This is going to make it easier. And as you can see, it's already makes my life easier. Okay, remembering that light source is coming from that right hand side. Okay, I'm changing it up a little bit so that the light source is more obvious, stronger, you could say. Yep. And what I'm trying to do is find a solid shadow color, a solid shadow color and shape that just runs all the way across. Can you see it? Starts from here, comes down. Okay, drop in some more color in here if you want as well. Okay, comes down in here. Not just that, comes down and joins up with this back end, the shadows in the back, like that. Okay, coming down, This is all just one big shape. Just want to connect this up a touch as well, like that. Maybe we could get a bit of a shadow-like thing coming across the back of that building. Why not? Something like that. There. Okay. Coming down and cutting across, this here. I'm just going a bit darker as I come down to the bottom area because I want some extra contrast for these lovely shaded, these little shaded areas here. So, cutting around these little shades, okay, like that. I'm kind of taking my time with this. There you go. The darker you make it around the edges of them, the more uh, more they sort of stand out due to the contrast. Okay, and I'm really wanting to make them quite dark, but at the same time, making sure that I've still got some of that background color in. The background wash and bits and pieces in here. Okay, I've just swapped over now to a smaller brush. This is a little flat brush. Okay, one thing I'm really trying to do is get the silhouette of those figures in nicely. And there's someone here sitting down at the table as well. It's very hard to sort of tell exactly what's going on. But look, you can imply that. You can have little bits and pieces. See, that's a little sign or something here. Okay. There. Here. That. That. Okay. And down. And down like this. Okay. Again, just cutting around this little figure here. I'm just going to cut around that figure and create extra contrast. Trying my best to sort of vary these tones so that we've got some darker ones. The darker ones, you'll notice they create sharpness around the figures and details. Just bring out details. Okay. Let's do the same thing here. See this figure there? Look, I'm just cutting around that figure. It's just quite dark in the background, but I'm skipping bits and pieces. Skipping here and there over the shoulders and stuff like that. Okay. There's the table, there's little bits and pieces here as well. I'm going to have to indicate what this is. It's difficult, but just some verticals perhaps running across in here will indicate some of those tables or what have you. Okay. That. Oops. That. Some little verticals in there. Good. Again, these figures, you can just do the same thing, cut around them. I'm trying to just get this all in with one big wash. Okay, in my opinion, I think this is the best way to do it. Watercolors, when you do a scene like this with too many washes, you lose track of the big picture. It becomes difficult to create this fresh looking painting. The more you add color and layers over the top. Okay, there is the shadow that I'm going to just play around with now. We can see the shadows of the figures kind of go towards the back. Okay, I'm going to just shift it a little bit to the left like this. Okay, so you've got the legs of these figures here. Look at that. can just create a bit of darkness here for the legs, for that figure anyway. Maybe use a smaller round brush there, and then have this carry over to the left hand side like that. Just a bit of that the leg there. I'll just soften off sometimes with the paintbrush, as you can see, and my finger. Again, just working on that figure to get more more of a silhouette, by darkening the background. You've got this figure here just kind of walking, and that again is another shadow shape here. I'll just create more angles on those shadows. I don't think I've done that so well. That's better, like that. The legs you can just join up. Notice how it's just the same color that I'm using, this same dark color to join everything up in the background. There's even a figure here that I'd put in, maybe just standing here. Could be a waiter, or who knows. That's also going to be a shadow, a large shadow. Okay, but as you can see, I'm being careful to not go over the top of that figure in the foreground here, cutting around the light. Okay, there's another one here, legs together like that. Here as well, look, we can now get this same shadow shape kind of coming up like this and going up to the legs there. Maybe a bit more of an angle. Look at that. Okay, great. Now again, there is some type of shadow running through here for the buildings. Not the buildings, it's basically the shade here on the ground, and I'm gonna attempt to put it in. Okay, something like this. This is a shade that's outside of the scene, by the way. It's kind of towards that right hand side. Okay, and I'm gonna put that in like that. Just having a look, making sure that shadow runs in a similar sort of way and fashion as to the other shadows as well. Okay, you've got bits of light that are caught as well, so you're just implying the darkness in there. Okay, some more of that, maybe a bit of yellow in there, a bit of orange, but mainly if I can just extra darkness. Okay, even underneath here it should be a bit darker. Okay, like that. That's what I mean by just trying to make sure you're not putting too many layers in here. This stuff is all still wet, so you can get away with it. Okay, let's have a look. Seeing how that appears, whether I want to lengthen that out a bit more, make it more obvious. Make that shadow a bit more obvious. I think we can be okay with that. I like that angle on it. Working away at some of this stuff now here in the background. I'm going to pick up a cooler color, just again, just that same old purpley color. And it's really just a purplish gray. Okay, and I'm dropping that into these background buildings here. And I'm going to leave in a little bit of light. It could be a side of a building or something. There. Just trying to just get it all in one wash off in the distance, so it just looks like a silhouette in there. Maybe some more blue, just a tiny bit of this cerulean in there. Okay, kind of like a cool grey color. Darken that one as well here. Look at that. One line and you're done. just going to add in a little, this could be like the side of the building, you know, those little balconies and stuff like that that some of these apartments have. Just a little something like that. Not much at all, but hopefully does the trick. Okay. And as we move downwards, we're going to start again with some of these darker sort of colors, purple, black, and a bit of brown. There we go, little tiny bit of these shades. You can see them just come out a little bit and interact with the light in the background, simplifying that down. I don't want to spend too much time there, but you can see some of them actually come out quite obviously. Okay, and this forms a weird kind of connection with the right hand side of the scene. Can you see that? So it connects both of them together. It's really important. This here is a little umbrella again that I hadn't realized, but it is there, little white umbrella there. Yeah, you know, it could be an umbrella. Anyway, here we are working on this building now, and tricky thing is now making sure we've got a sense of shadow in this building. So underneath this shade, I'm going to grab some of that grayish color and line it a touch like that there. And again, just sort of darken it, get a bit underneath. We want to leave in a lot of the light on the side of this building because it is technically in facing the sun, the light source, kind of on the top right hand side of the scene, just behind the camera. So I am taking special care here to make sure I've got in some of this detail. So, you know, for these windows, I can just drop in a bit of something like that. Not too big of a deal. Okay. That, like that. It's actually quite dark, some of these shadows. I'm a bit worried to go too dark, but we need to further down, and I don't want it to suddenly go all dark, so I'm going to add in, so you can see, just extra areas of contrast and darkness. And as we move down to the bottom, you know, light source is still coming from that top right hand corner, so again, these little bits of shadow are going to form on the ground here and connect up with the buildings. I'm just fussing about as to the how obvious I want to make these. Okay, but they need to be in here. They just have to be in here. That one's good. Like that. But downplaying it a bit. Okay. A little bit there. That's one. You know, we've got another one here. Another one here. And running across the scene here as well. Towards that right hand side. There. Like that. You know, look at that. And because we've left in the light on those figures, you can see them just pop out that light. Now we've got to join these shadows a bit onto the building. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of dragging up a bit like this from the bottom of the shadows upwards to create some kind of impression that it's joining onto the building. It can't just exist there and not connect with the building. So this isn't the only opportunity as well. Afterwards, we'll actually get in some further details too. Good. Here we've actually got some kind of sign that's sticking out. It's tough to really see it, but like that, these are just these things that you can indicate again on the buildings. These windows, for example, this lamp as well. I've almost forgotten about that lamp here, like that. Look, just a simple, a simple little lamp. Probably can't even tell that's a lamp in the first place. Okay. But again, I want to just get in a loose indication of these windows. I don't want to sit here and get them all in. It's not going to be too fun at all. Okay. I might drag in some of this as well, like that, just to merge that building a bit more. There's a hard sort of edge there that I want to just get rid of. That. Okay. Okay, let's give it a quick dry.